Here we are. This is supposed to be serious, so now it's live, you see. But I'm laughing out loud because it's a really, really funny situation. I've never done a Facebook Live on my computer. I'm trying it out. And Saya has never done anything like this.
The person of 19th century. Yes, I recently entered this century. Is my presentation. Oh, that is a great shock for my students.
Somebody is watching us. Mama Pomeranja is watching us. That is my fantastic friend, Jana.
Jana.
Jana,
Okay.
yeah, I'm going to tell
Jana.
you. Hi,
Hello,
I'm going
Jana.
to tell you about
You are the
Jana.
first Jana with whom I communicate.
She's the first alien with whom we
Really?
communicate. Yeah. So, for everybody who will be watching the replay of this video, this is me sitting in my kitchen with my Saya. Saya is a professor of linguistics. Otherwise, she was my first spiritual guide, I have to say. She is like a second mother to me, and to my daughter Tara, we call her the third grandmother to Tara. We have met in Kazakhstan 11 years ago, where I lived for some period of time, and I was fortunate enough that she accepted me as her student to teach me Russian. So we spent about a year and a half together, and as you can see, our relationship became much more than a student-teacher relationship. We have been together now for 2 days after full 10 years. 10 years we have not seen each other, and in these 2 days we have literally visited all the moments of the past decade in great detail. We have not closed our mouths for the last 2 days. This has been an utterly interesting decade, at the beginning of which my marriage was falling apart and my health was really deteriorating, and also your health was in a very bad shape. And we are here tonight because I wish to share with you some of the wisdom of life which Saya showered me with a decade ago. And when I said she was my first spiritual guide, I mean it very seriously, because she was the first person in my life to tell me things about life and how it works and why we are here and how everything happens with a reason. And the things she told me in the hardest times of my life literally changed the course of my life. And I am forever, forever grateful to you for everything you taught me.
Yes.
So 10 years ago, as I said, my marriage was falling apart and I was having a terribly, terribly hard time. After a year and a half with Saya as my teacher in Kazakhstan, where we were by the work, because of the work of my first husband. The two of us moved to New Delhi. I was 2 months pregnant with Tara, right? I was 2 months pregnant with Tara. And there in India, all the things, they got just worse, 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 and worse. And I would call Saya practically breathless, you know. I would call her to tell her, Saya, this is going on, and this is going on, and he's doing this, and he's doing that. And I was having such a hard time. And she would always tell me, be patient, don't be angry, send him only thoughts of love, you know, be kind and be good. And I found that really, really terribly difficult in those moments, because I felt like, you know, it's easier to be angry and it's easier to be disgusted. And it was, we can say maybe it was that moment in time when you either go this way or you go that way. You either go into hating and revenge,
Yes.
or you go the other way, which you were proposing. You were telling me to send him only thoughts of love and to be really kind and to be very patient and to stay centered in my heart and so many things. And I wanted to ask you in front of everybody, why did you find that to be so important?
Mm-hmm.
And also what I would love, which is what I really love with you, to make this connection in between how a woman feels,
Mm-hmm.
how she thinks, and her health.
Yes.
And her body.
And
Can we
her
do?
future depends on that.
Her future depends on that, yes. So I would really love that you share with my sisters some of this knowledge. Yeah. Tell us. Why is that? Why is that important to accept, to embrace the experiences which are coming to us,
Mm-hmm.
and no matter what is going on, to always stay centered and give love
Yes.
all the time.
So, I think we have many difficulties in our life, yes, but we shouldn't be aggressive to all occasions happening with us. We must understand that all comes to us not by chance. Something wrong with our behavior, with our thought, something wrong, it comes to correct us behavior. We must overcome. But we cannot overcome if we keep negative emotions in our heart. Yes, therefore, when it is happened with Asya, and Asya was the first lady who understood it absolutely as you understood it absolutely correctly. Yes, she found that way. She was in very emotional, negative state. And I always repeated her. I said, do you want to be happy? She said, yes, of course. I said, you must change your behavior. You must accept this situation absolutely as a lesson for you. You must overcome it with love. Don't hate your husband. Don't pity living with head back. Yes. Don't revenge. Yes. And first and moreover, don't, how to say, как это по-русски сказать, Асенька?
Скажи, пожалуйста.
Сожалеть. To pity и осуждать себя. To guilt yourself.
To judge yourself.
To judge yourself.
To scold yourself.
To scold yourself, yes. Here in this situation, at that moment, yes, I told you, if you want to be happy, you must forgive him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, how
that was very difficult. I could understand her because to change yourself, it is the most difficult thing in the world. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We always want to change other people. We want, how to say, to find a guilty person. Yes. If person not satisfied, is unhappy, he's always looking for a person who is guilty. Find with yourself. It is happened with you. You are suffering. It means that something wrong with your behavior, with your thought. Yes. And moreover, everybody wants to be happy. You will never be happy if you keep this aggression in your heart, your negative. But if you overcome it with love, if you with forgiveness, with all positive, you accept it as it must be. By the way, if it is happened, soon or later, that should be happened. Surely, that should be happened. And thank to God that it is happened earlier.
Oh, thank God, at 30s,
yes,
not at 40s. It would have happened sooner or later because...
Of course,
yeah.
Sooner or later. if it is happened, this is time came that you must accept this. And if you overcome this hard time period, yes, with love, with not destroying yourself, others' life, yes, your future will be nice. Yes, you overcome it with love, and it is your road will be more wide, more chances you have for life. It is like examination. Yes, you pass it,
like
and you, yes, and you go one step higher, one step higher. Vice versa. If you guilty, you feel pity, if you hate, if you want to revenge, you go back.
Just backwards.
Yes,
it was a new concept for me back then.
Yes.
But I remember very clearly you saying, well, if you are wishing him bad, you know, if you have negative thoughts, you are actually hurting only yourself.
Yes.
Which I didn't understand at the very beginning, but the thing was that practically everything you were saying was totally new to me.
Yes.
First of all, I never had any such problem in a relationship, and this was really major. It was huge because it was the love of my life. And for God's sake, I thought, you know, you find one guy and you are happy, you know, you live happily ever after, and all of a sudden he falls in love with another girl. And the problem was not that he fell in love with another girl at all, but the problem was, you know, lying and cheating and deceiving and all these things I really had as a human in a relationship with another human. I had such a hard time accepting that someone would do something like that, especially to someone he loved.
Yes.
A few days ago,
yes.
You know. So anyhow, it was very difficult, but what I did is I really listened. I listened,
yes.
And I did one step at a time.
Yes, you called to me during hours we spoke.
Hours and hours we spoke, yes. But because I was just so out of my mind, I didn't know what to do. You were like my lifeline, you know, you were really my savior. And I was living in India and calling Saya in Kazakhstan all the time for hours and hours. And anyhow, now she's here after 10 years, right? And we had this really funny situation 2 days ago. She came, and at the same time, he came, my first husband, who is a good friend today.
That is fantastic.
And when he comes to visit, he always stays in our house. As I said, we are all really good friends. He's totally part of the family. Saya's plan totally worked. We were never enemies. There was no drama in between us. There was no fighting, nothing. The divorce was super friendly. We are, yeah, she said, if I didn't know that this was your first husband, I would think that this is your brother. So for one night, he stayed in Switzerland with us one night on the way from France to Budapest, where he lives. And she didn't know that this was going to happen. And when I told him he's coming, and we are all, you know, having dinner together and sleeping, you know, in what happened? I don't know, trying to reconnect.
It's difficult to start later. This.
Yeah, when you start talking.
Yes.
Yeah. Look.
No, till 50, it was so hard, so difficult. I was very strict. I'm good professor. I am a respectful person, yes. And always I had problems. Then, but I always felt that any power helps me. Because if it was difficult period, yes, I tried to be in distance with people and feeling to be in quiet. And I think that at that moment I was speaking with any power or somebody, how to say, uspokajivanje, make me quiet.
Yeah, calm you down.
Yes, I visited different churches, yes, Christians, Buddha churches, different, because I felt they're quiet. They happened as I was very strong, and very strong I was. And there were marks to me that I later realized, which the marks change, yes, you must, but I ignored it. And so happened for me, I had operation on my heart, yes. And I think that God was tied with me, He wanted to save me, and at last He gave me marks, but I ignored it, and it was as for hard lady, for strong lady, I should have a very strong situation, difficult situation. At that moment, yes, it was difficult period in my life. I didn't want to save my life. For me, speaking frankly, I think I was indifferent. I was so tired of having this attack on heart that I was only one I wishes to die quietly, better when sleeping, yes. And I saw how my relatives were suffering, yes. Mm-hmm. But so happened. It was difficult before operation and how it was easy after it. And I think, as Nan said, yes, because I was not trying to live. I was not catching, yes, this life, yes. I forgot about my body. Only thing I said, I must go away very quiet, peacefully, this way here. Yes. And after operation, it was so quickly, all my surgeons were surprised. In 2 days, yes, I recovered very quickly. Yes, in a week, in 2 weeks, I was at home, and very soon I returned to my lovely job, to my lovely students. And you know, if person loves his job, I got so many love from my students until now. Yes, they so love me and respect and even worship me. Yes, that I felt physically that energy coming to me. Yes, yes. And then my life became much better than before. People who knew me in university before, yes, they didn't recognize me. I was as if born another side, I was born another person. I was so happy, and I understood one thing. All problems we produce ourselves. Really. Yes, we are not happy with this, that, we envy, we find guilty, we revenge, and then after it, bad health, bad future, and all crashed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to be honest, yeah.
Yes, and I understood that it is so connected. I now thank the God that I had that operation. Yeah.
Like I thank God. I'm so grateful for my shit experience.
Yes.
How we call it.
All experience for wise person, for clever, all experience, it is very good. We should thank the God for this experience. Of course, if you are smart enough and clever, and you can analyze. Yes. Therefore, my life started again. I was very happy, and now I think there were two sides. Before, crazy. Yes.
Asia too.
Yes, and Asia too. But she had another lesson. Yes, test was. I had another. But my life so changed. By the way, I always say, my life starts after 50. Really. I enjoy. In 5 years after operation, I I had operation on my eyes. I was very blind from childhood. Yes. And then again, another step of this beautiful, I could see, now I walk. Yes, I make a trip throughout the world. Throughout the world, all my students, they're waiting for me. Yes, and I'm so happy. And of course, and when I happy here in my soul, my body follows soul. Yes.
Oh yes, I love that. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I wanted to show you, I don't know if you realize,
yes,
that they are writing messages here. Mariana just said that she also learned Russian in primary school. She said that you are so brave. Lari is here with us.
Oh,
that is so beautiful. Hi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all for your love, all the love that is coming from your side. We are so happy to be here together, and we are happy to be with you. And I am so happy to share, to have been able to share even just a piece of my Saya. Okay.
Yes.
Are we all invited to Almaty to be your guest in Almaty and to visit you in the university?
Sure.
Whoever, I mean, it's a really crazy place. It's an interesting place. I am definitely planning to go, maybe pretty soon. If anyone ever wished to visit Central Asia and to visit Kazakhstan, could come with me to Almaty whenever I go. We have where to go, okay? We have who to visit. Now we have a sister in Kazakhstan. We call each other sisters.
Yes.
In this group.
Yes.
So this is like
Okay.
our tribal language, and now
Yes.
you are the sister.
I
Yeah?
wish you to develop yourself, to change. Yes, and you will be happy. Don't stop developing, and you will be happy.
Such wonderful
Okay.
message. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Bye.
Kisses. Ciao, ciao.